We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Keys of Cthulhu. This issue came out in 2023 from Zenescope. It's labeled as a one-shot, but it's also numbered 1 on the order forms. So this kid working for Dagon is helping Dagon to summon Cthulhu, and to do that they need 3 keys. So they send these serpent creatures out after them, and we learn one of them is Avril, who is friends with Red Agent Brittany. Now this one seems to follow the events of Grimm's Spotlight, Red Agent, Friendly Fire, and the Pheonix Files issue 3. Pheonix Files is a mini-series, it's only 3 parts long, and that appears to be where Avril and Pheonix hook up. So they're kind of together now, and they're having a good old time, but Brittany, Red Agent, has discovered that their director is in fact dead, and somebody else is pulling some strings. Now she's got to find Avril because she knows Avril and Pheonix are in trouble. Well, that's when they find these serpent creatures, and the serpents grab one of the people that was designated, who's just some rando, and then they also grab Pheonix and corrupt him. Unfortunately, it looks like Avril's in some serious trouble, and she's facing off with not only her quasi-boyfriend, but some other monsters and demons as well. Thankfully, Red Agent shows up to help out, but it may be too late. Now, it says that this story is continued, but it doesn't say exactly where, but it looks like this is going to be a big event over at Zenescope, where a lot of storylines are converging. So it looks like this spun out of Rise of Cthulhu, which was a Grimm Tales of Terror quarterly, and went through various issues of Grimm Fairy Tales, some Robin Hood one-shots, and the Pheonix Files as well, including Belle from Beyond, Red Agent, Friendly Fire, Robin Hood the Crawling, etc. And it's going to lead to the Rise of Cthulhu, possibly in Grimm Fairy Tales 74 and 75. So I don't know how well these are connected, but it does appear to be all at least linked in some respect. Overall, this was pretty interesting as an installment of a larger storyline, but as a standalone, it was a little disappointing because there's really no resolution. So as a one-shot that really doesn't tell you at the bottom where to go for the next part, it was only okay. Now, they do have a checklist, but I actually overlooked that the first couple times because it looked like an ad for their other comics and not that this was tied into those. So it would have been nice if they had put Rise of Cthulhu as a banner on all these issues so you know they're all part of a storyline, but that's a minor complaint. Overall, the art's okay, it's functional. It's not my favorite style, but you get the idea. I thought Red Agent looked good, but the artist really needs to work on facial proportions a little bit. I understand it's supposed to be stylistic, but it's a little frustrating to watch people's head shape change through the issue, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a pretty fun read. It was $7, so that was a pretty steep investment, but considering it's written more in the style of old comic books and how they used to be, I didn't really have too much of a problem with it, and I'm willing to look the other way on some bad art for a more entertaining story that isn't going to insult my intelligence. So I might actually try and track down some of these other Rise of Cthulhu issues. I have the Pheonix Files ones, I just haven't read them yet, and I think I have the Robin Hood one-shots. Those might be worth reading, but in the meantime, I'll recommend this if you have any interest in the Zenescope universe. As a standalone, though, you're not going to really know who most of these people are unless you've read some Red Agent and the Pheonix Files, but I was entertained. I know who most of the characters are, at least in passing, so I think I got more out of it than an average person just picking this up. Hopefully they will collect these in a trade paperback of some kind so that we can get the full story, but if you're not planning on reading or familiarizing yourself with the Zenescope universe, you're not going to get much out of this. But the cover's pretty cool, I do like that, and it looks like they have a pretty good plan for what they want to do with these characters and the great old ones that are all in public domain now, and Cthulhu itself. But hopefully it pays off in the end with these other books and you get a much more interesting full story. But as a standalone, like I said, there's not going to be a lot here if you're not familiar with the characters. It's not a good jumping on point. You'll want to at least familiarize yourself with Red Agent and that Friendly Fire one shot, and probably the Pheonix Files as well. But that's going to do it for this one. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.